right anterior negativity is a neural response observed in studies investigating and synthetic processing of music. It is elicited by irregular chords, which violate the expected musical structure or syntax. The ERAN is characterized by a negative deflection in the event-related potentials recorded from the scalp, specifically in right frontal areas, peaking at around 200 miles after the onset of the chord. This waveform is compared to the ERP elected by regular chords, and the different waveform clearly shows the presence of ERAN as a distinct response. The ERAN is an early component of the processing stream and reflects the detection of syntactic irregularities in music. In addition to ERP studies, similar findings have been observed in MEG studies and fMRI studies. MEG studies have shown activity localized in IFG, while fMRI studies have reported activity in the IFG, as well as STG and the ACC. These findings suggest that the processing of music syntax involves a distributed neural network, including both frontal and temporal brain regions. The IFG is known to be involved in syntactic processing in language, and its activation in the context of music suggests a shared neural basis for processing syntactic structures in different domains. The STG is implicated in auditory processing and may play a role in the perception of musical syntax, while the ACC is associated with error monitoring and conflict detection. Overall, the ERAN and associated brain activity provide insights into the neural mechanisms underlying the processing of syntactic irregularities in music and contribute to our understanding of how the brain generates and perceives musical structure. The research methods to study the early right anterior activity mainly include the use of invoked potential, MEG, and fMRI. The purpose of the study is to explore the neural mechanisms of musical syntactic processing, especially the differences in processing irregular and regular notes that violate musical structure or syntax. The research results show that irregular notes trigger a negative wave in ERAN, which reaches its maximum value about 200 milliseconds after the note appears in the right frontal area. In terms of data support, research can clearly observes existence of ERAN by comparing the ERPS of irregular and regular nodes. The MEG study and fMRI study also obtained similar results, showing the brain regions involved in music syntax processing, such as the inferior temporal gyrons, parietal temporal gyrons, and ACC. The advantage of these research methods is that they can provide high-resolution neural activity information, thereby revealing the temporal dynamics and spatial distribution of music syntax processing. ERPS can provide high temporal resolution of EEG activity. MEG can provide better spatial resolution, and fMRI can provide more detailed activation information of brain regions. However, these research methods also have some limitations and drawbacks. For example, ERP are affected by noise and electrode position limitations. MEG are more sensitive to head movement and magnetic field interference, and fMRI is limited by scanning time and spatial resolution. In addition, these research methods can only provide relevant neural activity information and cannot directly explain their functional significance. In practice, studying the early phenomena of right anterior activity is of great significance for understanding the neural mechanisms of musical syntactic processing. It helps to review the brain mechanisms of music structure generation and perception, and can be compared with research on language syntax processing, thereby advancing research. To study ERP by comparing irregular and regular nodes, the following steps can be taken. Design an experimental paradigm. 2. Recruitment of subjects. 3. Data collection. 4. Data analysis. 5. Compare the ERPS of irregular and regular nodes. 6. Statistical analysis. Through these steps, the existence of ERAN can be clearly observed, and the neural mechanisms of music syntax processing can be further studied. Thank you.